Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are you? Good. I am a little bit headache, but I guess that is because of the tension of being all the day this like writing. Just to begin, I just want I just wanted to say a mistake that I usually do that someone makes me realize about this mistake. And it's one of those mistakes that you do when you write. For sure, I have many mistakes writing, but one of the ones that I do, and I know that is a mistake, but it's kind of is if my brain doesn't care that is a mistake and says no, write it like this, is expectations. And expectations, you may write it with an X, expectations, but the origin of the word is spectare, ex spectare, and spectare means to watch very deep, and ex spectare means to go to what you are watching very deep, to go towards what you are watching every deep, very deep. So expectation means to hope that what you are looking happens in the future. So are one of those things that I don't usually write it well, because I think about spectare. Okay, so I will try to correct myself every time that I see the word. I will do my best. Today we work with the ankles, and the topic for today is suburb. So this word is weird because we use it in two very different things, that kind of, one is really bad and the other one is really good. We use the word suburb to speak about a person that thinks that is better than the other ones. That's the bad side. And in the other side, suburb is something wonderful, like, wow, this is amazing. Okay, so that's suburb, or superb, you may say. Suburb and superb is the same word, it comes from the same root. And some people in English may call it pride, but it's not exactly pride, it's suburb. What we are, the thing that we are trying to talk about is be suburb, okay? Not pride, not proud. So the origin of the word superb comes from the Latin, which is superbus. Superbus is the adverb of the word super, super. And super comes from supra. Supra means upper, something that is above. Like suprarenal, do you say that? The adrenal glands, people say suprarenal, that it comes from it comes from that is above the kidneys. That's what it means. So so it is, everything that is super is above the other ones, is over the other ones. So the first thing that I want to explain about this concept is from the physical aspect. That's it. Okay, don't think about this, the concepts, don't think about emotion, just think about physical. Okay, so in a physical way, you may say that someone that is supra, which is above, is someone that is on the top of the mountain, that is flying in the sky, someone that can see everything from above, that everything is there, that you can see the whole picture. Like an eagle, like someone living in the top of the mountain, something like that. Another thing that now we can understand from the physical aspect is that the person that is on the top watching are more previsors of everything. They can preview everything before it happens, because those people that lives in the moment below the mountain cannot see what is coming. Okay, so to have prevision, to be a person with a preview of everything, is a person that is on the top and can see the horizon, what is coming. So it's easier for them to pre-visualize what is coming ahead. So pre-visualization, that would be pre-visualize. So what happened? That when we think about that, we start to believe that the people that is on the top, this now is conceptual, the people that is on the top of the hill, for them is easier to understand what is happening. So they are more wise. They can see the things before they happen. They can give advice. They know better because they have a better perspective of things from the top. So from this point of view in nature, now in the concepts, we start to organize our society because of this. We create hierarchy. The hierarchy would be to put on the top that person that knows everything, that has the knowledge, that has the vision, all the perceptions, so that person can lead all the rest. And we start to create our hierarchy. So this means that we start to create this hierarchy with the king on the top, with the priests and priestesses, with the feudalism and all the lords, and then we have the army, and then the people. So we have this organization of our society. So whoever is on the top of the other one, above the other one, will have more power, will be more super. Now let's go to the very origin of our social organization. When someone has the power, usually don't want to leave the power. So if someone comes and takes the power over it, this person won't like it. He won't like it. So these people will do everything in their hands for the rest of the people are not able to overcome and to go over them. So the king and the priests, they would say, okay, so above us there is only God. So they say nobody can be above God because God is the supreme Lord. The history, one of the things that the system did was that if you are trying to control and keep the power, so you have to make the rest below you to believe that you cannot be better or you cannot go over anyone because God is the supreme. So the way they organize this is by saying that the concept of going above the other one is basically a sin. So they made the concept of going above a sin, and that's it. So we have to understand the history of that moment when there were many small kingdoms, many feudalism, and most of them, they were like kind of families. And these families, they accomplished to get the uh, the power. They accomplished to get the power through all the things that they have done. So they are not willing to give that power away. So they had to work in a system to make the rest of the people believe that it was a very bad sin to go over the others, because in this way they were able to control the population, so nobody would be fighting for control. Today is very different, but what we have to understand is the context of history. That was the only way they had to organize, because in that time would be very difficult to organize so many people. So they needed this structure of feudalism, of kingdoms, to make kind of this organization. So they were called the lords. Okay, the lords of this, the lord of that. That's why to God they call them the Lord, because the Lord was the owner of everyone. So that's why they started to call it Lord. It was the bigger landowner of everyone. So this is from where the Lord and the Supreme comes from. El Supremo viene de la palabra super, el que está por encima, el que manda. The Supreme comes from the word super, which is the person, the being that is above everyone. And today we have this concept of the higher self, which we could call the Supreme Self, which is exactly the same. So it's the self that is above us. Then when we start the path of awareness and to understand the universe, we suddenly recognize that God is not someone above us controlling us, but God is everything. So if God is everything, this means that we are also God, so we are supreme. And when we recognize that, we start to acknowledge that suburb pride was not a sin, a capital sin. That suburb pride was just a political strategy. And so this is how we are going to try to re-signify the concept of being suburb. Suburb is speaking about to go above from your own point of view, to perceive and view and see beyond your own perceptions, to have a more wide side of everything, and to take position and power of what you recognize, of what you see. Suburb means that someone knows, to recognize that you know, that you are, and that you have. Suburb is what makes us be divine. So where do we find this suburb that we define like bad, like something bad? The suburb that we consider the bad one is the suburb of the ignorant. The ignorant is that one that says, I know, but he doesn't know. Is the one that says, I am, but he's not. And is the one that says, I have, but he doesn't have. So the negative aspect of pride would be to think that you are better than the other ones, that you are above the other ones, that the other ones doesn't have anything and you have everything. So basically, the negative pride would be the one that inside he feels weak. And he feels so weak because he knows that he doesn't know, he knows that he doesn't have, he knows that he is not. This is why the real pride is the pride of humble. The pride, the superb of the humble, is the one that knows exactly where it belongs and what is its own power. But even knowing that, that person would never try to take the power of others or to position itself above others. The most clear image to explain this is when Jesus washes the feet of the disciples. What is really humility, to be humble? It comes from the word, the ability to be on the ground, on the earth. To be humble is not to be humiliated. Humiliated comes from exactly the same word that humble, but it's not the same. To be humiliated is to go into the ground by obligation, by force. To be humble is to recognize the power where you belong, where you are. So from the point of view of consciousness, pride, suburb, and to be humble are exactly the same. It means to take power over where you are, where you belong. From the point of view of unconscious, they are the opposite. Because the suburb, the pride, takes you outside from where you belong to overtake the power of the other ones around you. To put yourself above the others. So let's remember, pride is not a sin. What it's really a sin is our incapacity to use the pride properly. So from this point of view, by assimilating this information, we can start to watch in our lives where we can find the moments where we are when we are proud, superb in the negative aspect, and superb in the positive aspect. So we have to remember this, that we are huge beings that has come into life to experience its greatness in the tiny limitations. So we are not going to be able to recognize how great can we become if we don't use exactly the power of the right pride. So an important thing to understand is that we have come here to learn. Life is to learn about our own potentials. So these potentials tells us that we have to work through to see it, to understand them, to practice them. And that's what we call an errant. An errant is that person that goes without a purpose, looking, searching, trying to learn about things that he doesn't understand. So errant is the origin of the word error. Error. And error in Latin, you may say peccata. Peccata means when you fall walking. So it's a mistake. It's a mistake that you didn't do properly when you were walking. So peccata means, in English, you may say sin. And sin comes from the word sontis, that means guilty, okay, in Latin. So it's like someone that feels guilty of doing a mistake. And life is about that, about mistakes, to try to understand. Sins exist, and we used to call that the process of education. So let's go to the information for today. The vibration for today, view. Sorry, I was reading whatever. The vibration is wo, wo. Wo, wo, wo. That's the vibration. The statement for today is, I am the transmutation of lessons. The code for today is, we begin today with a new list of 12 concepts. And the first one for this 12 would be the subconscious expression. In the universal mind's void, nothing that we believe in is what it looks like. For there are no reference nor limitations, and all possibilities and probabilities coexist. In terms of time, we call this future, meaning harmony among all potentials, which without existing still contain all existences, saving all possible designs in the void, waiting to emerge. Be superb. I said that but from everything that we are speaking here, for sure religious people will say that I am the Antichrist or something. So, but anyway, that's what you earn. I don't really care. Talking about this, about the Antichrist as a joke, I must say, just in case, that I consider Christ like a great master, so for myself. So I'm not against him, of course. He's a master for me too. And the second question that someone did to me is if I believe in God. And my question would be, which God? Or what do you think is God? Because that I will speak about this in another moment. But it's it's dependent on what do you think God is, because depending on that, my answer will be yes or my answer will be no. So someday we will speak more about that. And just saying this, because we are speaking about that, all this information um, acknowledges that religions are ways to find the truth. So it doesn't matter which method you are using, which religion, which thought you have about all these concepts. If these concepts are useful for you, so it doesn't matter which religion you work with. Okay, so we start to move our shoulders very softly in circles. We leave all the weight fall down, and I focus only in my breathing. I become aware of the light around me. Take a deep breath, feeling my light shining from within. Take a deep breath and look around you, all the people that you know, the good ones, the bad ones, the closest ones, the farthest ones, all of them surrounding you. I observe my light around them and reflected on them. I recognize that we all share the same body. They're part of the mind, and I see them becoming waves within my own ocean. Take a deep breath and dive within the waters, going through the conscious and the unconscious, letting the light vanish above as you go into the depths of the ocean, feeling the pressure of the darkness, the shadows of your subconscious. I recognize that the highest power that I can get in my life is not by being over the other ones, but to be where I belong, in the center of my own self. To be humble is not to give your power away. To be humble is to recognize your own power. The only one able to be proud and superb is the one that accomplished to rule the kingdom that is within. Take a deep breath, and with your vibration, recognize, I desire to be the supreme of my own self. I am the transmutation of all lessons. I am the transmutation of all lessons. I am the transmutation of all lessons. Your feet on the ground. Step strong, hard. peccatori servus mei sunt. Liberturis seant. In gloriam animae. Gratiam eus peccatis seant. Pro nobis apperentil. Magister, Magister peccatori supremum est. Libero eum. Sic eum liberate mem. Ego sum veritas. Ego sum caritas. Ego sum lucem. Ego sum caelis in terra. Sunt creatum mem. Vamos. Liberáteme. Sic est. Take a deep breath and begin to stretch all the body. Coming back here and now. It's a complex thing to speak about what happened right now. Okay, just to for you to have the idea, the being that spoke today is what some people call like egregor, I guess. Some people mention that this is like a bad thing, like a demon also, or things like that. But basically, these beings are like spirits that belongs to a group, like a like a big group. Like, for example, there's an egregor, one egregor for a forest. There is an egregor for a group of fish. There is an egregor for a group of people. So basically, there are egregors everywhere, all around. Something like that. And this egregor was created in the times of Rome and Roman Empire, and is an egregor created by many of us that we are connected here. So he appeared because we were speaking about all these concepts. So it's something that connects many of the people that are watching here from or since the Roman times. So he was speaking in Latin, at least with the language or the words that he might find of Latin in my head, because he was created in that moment, in that time. So what basically he said was that you were the creators of these mistakes. You created me, so I am creating you. So set me free from what you created, and I will set you free from all the mistakes. So the reason why he said this it's not because maybe there is one mistake that we all did. Maybe one of you stole a cow, your soul in other life stole a cow. Other one had raped someone. Maybe someone was doing attrition to someone. I don't know. But it doesn't matter really. That what matters is that in the same moment, a lot of people created an egregor that holds that information. So basically what he said was there's a lot of people that is being pulled from the Roman times and there's something that it doesn't help you to evolve. So what he said was, set myself free and I will set you free because you created me to trap you, something like that. So the way you can set free an egregor and yourself free from an egregor is by acknowledging patterns of beliefs that you share with others, because they are basically related to patterns. So if needed, we will keep talking about this in another moment. So see you tomorrow to close the Taurus and the week, the emotional week in Scorpio. See you tomorrow. Bye.